Coach's Corner is presented by Roanoke Valley Harley Davidson. Stop by their store on Peters Creek Road for new and used motorcycles, service and repair, along with Harley Davidson clothing and collectibles. Hello and welcome in to another episode of Coach's Corner. I'm Mitch, Stewart, and this morning I'm joined by Dawgs head coach Dan Bremner. Dan, thanks for joining me.
Of course.
Really good weekend for you guys this past weekend at home. You got the Fayetteville Marksmen coming into town, and you all were both battling for third place heading into the weekend. You guys pull out a weekend sweep with an 8-5 win and then a 4-3 win against Fayetteville. What were some of your takeaways from the weekend as you get all 4 points?
Obviously happy with the 4 points and solidifying ourselves as third place, but we gave up 9 over the course of the weekend, and credit to Fayetteville. They've got a talented, fast team over there that they were battling hard. It was a good playoff test for us. Continuing to kind of ramp up into next week when playoffs start, and I was really happy with a lot of things our guys did. It was an awesome test on Saturday to see. Fayetteville pushed with some pressure and some desperation at the end, and we made some big mistakes. Fortunately for us, they didn't end up in the back of our net, but being able to run through that and kind of see how we're reacting under pressure now is a great opportunity to kind of have it in the back pocket going forward.
Some of the biggest news this past weekend, getting CJ Valerian back from the injured reserve. He's obviously been battling all season long to try to get healthy and try to get back on the ice. He scores in his first night back and has a solid weekend as he was returning to play. What did you kind of think about his play, and how big of an impact is he when he's back out on the ice for the Rail Yard Dogs?
Val's huge for us, and everybody loves him. Everybody's seen the hard work he's been putting in to try to get back to this point all season long. This is all he's wanted all season long, is to play. He's a guy that just loves the game and wants to play. So such a lift, emotionally and everything for our group, but a lift physically out there too. He's a beast, and he plays a physical game, plays a hard game, and I don't think he gives himself enough credit. He can be an offensive presence as well.
Owen McDade on Friday night talking about an offensive presence. Not only a hat trick, but a 5-point night. The second 5-point night by a Rail Yard Dog this season. We talked about him from time to time this year as his roles kind of continue to grow. And now he has a letter on his chest for away games. What does Owen kind of mean to this team, and how have you seen him progress from the beginning of the season to now?
Yeah, he's really stepped into his own, and I think he made the adjustment to North American Pro through the first quarter of the season, and he's just continued to kind of grow in that role. It was pretty clear, from my interactions when I see them as a group, that he's a leader. His voice is valued out there, and then he backs it all up by what he's doing on the ice. He's totally bought into the details and habits of Dawgs hockey.
Goaltending can be so huge during a President's Cup playoff run. We saw it with Austin Rodebush last year, kind of being that Iron Man down the stretch for the Rail Yard Dogs. It seems like he's starting to kind of try to find that late season form, get back to that. Tyler Roy working really hard every day too, pushing him in practice. How do you kind of feel about the two that you've got between the pipes as we kind of close out the regular season and look toward the postseason?
Yeah, T-Roy's awesome, constantly right behind Rhodey, pushing him competitively, but also out there for the guys. He'll take extra reps. He'll do whatever the guys need. He battles in every single drill, so he's so valuable to us, and we're confident if when we need him to step in. But Rhodey's going to be the guy, and the pressure's going to be on him, and I think he's a guy that when the pressure ramps up, he kind of ups his game as well.
You guys have been progressing, obviously, toward this point the whole season where you're trying to get to that playoff style of hockey here over these past few weeks, heading in towards next week. Do you feel like there's maybe anything that you're still trying to push your guys for, maybe something that might be a little bit missing that could be there if you keep pushing them to try to play that style of game?
Yeah, we continue to look at it, and like I said, this last weekend was a great test, and I thought although we won both games, there's tons of opportunities where our decision making on risk reward are making sure that we're winning zones and we're continuing moving, advancing that puck up the ice, but at the same time understanding when it's just time to possess the puck too and own it and look to make plays. So as the pressure ramps up, they just got to understand, one, we want them to make plays. In big moments, we're going to have big players out there that are going to look to make plays and attack the net. But they got to understand, too, when it's time to live to fight another day and just make sure that puck is advancing up the ice.
I know I've mentioned the postseason a lot, but we're not there quite yet. 2 more regular season games this weekend. The home and home with Knoxville coming up. Obviously, they've been eliminated from playoff contention, but they're also trying to play spoiler this time of year and end the season on a high note. What is your message to your team, trying to make sure that you guys take these games seriously and get good results heading into the playoffs next week?
Just making sure they see the bigger picture that, it's a best of 3, and if you're sloppy after 2 games and you go into game 1 of a playoff series kind of without the energy or without the jam, it can quickly be facing elimination. So making sure we have that in our mindset. And then as far as this weekend, we're approaching it that it's about us and it's about those details and habits we were just talking about, that making sure that we're buttoning that up and we're playing a complete 60-minute game heading into the playoffs.
Well, Dan, best of luck to you all. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Mitch.
That's going to do it for this episode of Coach's Corner, the regular season home finale on Friday night here against the Knoxville Ice Bears. 540 City Connect night, some awesome specialty jerseys being worn, and that game is sponsored by Haley Toyota. We thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you on Friday night and hopefully next week in the playoffs. Have a great rest of your day.